Hi, how's it going? Let me ask you a question. How do you inspire generations younger and older in your congregation to give generously? And not just today, but into the future. I'm Paul Hosch, and I'm the CEO of Nonprofit Fundraising Management, where our mission is to help Black ministries thrive through modern fundraising. And today we're diving into how to engage every generation in your congregation, whether it's impact-driven millennials, tech-savvy Gen Zs, or faithful baby boomers, and builds a culture of giving that impacts lives and creates a lasting legacy for your congregation and community. Now, you're going to want to watch this video because I share practical steps on how to build transparency, showcase impact, and introduce legacy planning to your congregation. And finally, I'll introduce a short quiz to help you retain this information and to assess your ministry's position. Now let's start with segment 1, which is generational trends and their impact on giving. First, we have Millennials and Gen Z. These younger generations are digital first. They're on their phones, they're on social media, they engage through apps, they use QR codes and your website. And for them, giving is not about tradition, it's about impact. They want to see exactly how their money is making a difference, and they value transparency more than ever. Now, on the other hand, we have baby boomers and Gen X. And these are the people that have been your financial backbone of the church for decades. They have been faithful givers, often in tithes and offering envelopes. But now, as they age, many think about how they can continue to support the church, even after they're gone. Legacy planning has become more important to them. Now here's the challenge and opportunity. Your ministry needs to address both groups equally. Now let's discuss how. Segment number 2, building transparency for all generations. Transparency inspires trust, and trust inspires giving. However, transparency looks a little bit different depending on the generation. Now for the younger generation, it's about accessibility. Are you sharing updates on social media? Are you sending out e-newsletters or emails that are breaking down how the donations are being used? Do you have a one-page annual report that's visually appealing and easy to understand? Now for older generations, transparency goes a bit deeper. They've been giving faithfully for years and want to know their contributions are being managed wisely. They appreciate detailed financial updates, board reports, and in-service announcements that show exactly how their gifts have been used. Here's a practical tip. Create a comprehensive annual impact report that includes the following. A, stories about lives changed. B, a breakdown of how funds were used. And C, a message about your future goal. And if you've never done this before, start small. Even a 2-page impact report can make a world of difference. Now let's move on to segment 3, showing impact through storytelling. Now let's talk about one of your most powerful tools, storytelling. Numbers are important, but stories connect emotionally. For example, don't just say we raised $50,000 for our youth program. Say instead, we raised $50,000 for our youth program, and Johnny Smith is going off to Yale because of our tutoring program. Another example might be, instead of saying we've supported 1,000 families this week with our food bank, say we've supported 1,000 families this week with our food bank, and Mrs. Smith is one of those families and she is no longer going hungry. Younger generations will resonate with the visuals and the emotional connections, while older generations will feel reassured that their donations are being used wisely. I've worked with many churches that have used videos during the service, and they work really well. Why? Because they include financial information as well as stories of impact. This really moves your congregation to continue to support you and support you at a greater level. So ask yourself, what stories can you tell that'll bring your ministry's work to life? Now we're moving to segment 4, planning on the future through legacy giving. Now let's shift gears and talk about the future, specifically legacy giving. Now this is where the older generation comes into focus. Legacy giving, wills, trusts, and estates, it's not just for wealthy donors. It's about inviting people to include your ministry's work in their legacy planning so their faith and values can live on for generations. Here are 3 ways to introduce this idea to your congregation very gently. Number 1, just start the conversation. You may start with something like, have you ever thought about how your faith could live on with a legacy gift to the church? Or my personal favorite, how would you like to be remembered? Number 2, hold a workshop. Host a Legacy Sunday where members can come and learn about estate planning in a faith-based, trusted environment. And number 3, share examples. Talk about how some members have left a legacy gift and the impact those gifts have made. And remember, this is not just about older members. Even millennials are starting to think about their future planning. It's never too early to start planting the seed. Frame legacy giving as a part of your ministry's vision for the future. And remember, it's not just about the money. It's about sustaining your mission. It's about creating a lasting impact. And more importantly, it's about educating your congregation on preparing for after death, as well as generational wealth. Segment 5, engaging all generations simultaneously. Now that we've discussed transparency, impact, and legacy giving, let's put it all together. To engage younger generations, use digital platforms like social media, email, and e-newsletters to give updates and share stories. For older generations, share detailed financial updates and legacy planning resources. Host in-person events where they can connect to your ministry's work directly. And remember, for both groups, everyone wants to feel their giving matters. When you show impact and build trust, you'll inspire generosity across every generation. Segment 6, quiz time. And remember, this is just for fun to help you assess where you are in your ministry and to help you retain this information. So let's see how your ministry is doing with this quick quiz. Number 1, are you sharing an annual report or impact review with your congregation? Number 2, do you use stories and visuals to connect to your younger members? And number 3, have you introduced legacy giving to older members that feels approachable? And finally, number 4, are you balancing your message to make sure you're appealing to both older and younger generations? Now, if you're missing any of these, don't worry, just start small. Even one initiative like Legacy Workshop or a quarterly update can make a world of difference. Transparency, impact, and legacy. These are the 3 pillars of engaging every generation in your congregation. By addressing both the unique needs of both younger and older generations, you'll build a ministry that thrives today and prepares for the future. If you're ready to take action and need a little help, reach out to us. Our contact information is in the description below. And before I go, I'd like to sincerely thank you for watching this video to the end. By watching this video to the end, you're not only educating yourself, but you're helping the algorithm spread this information to more ministries that need it. Let's continue to build ministries that inspire, transform, and endure. Until next time, stay blessed and lead with purpose.